Let's continue with the second part of Lesson 2 of the Tool2Type workshop. We left off last time by showing some of the power and nuances of drawing paths in the Glyphs app. Now let's talk about how important the font information window is. I've started a new font. I've only got a few uppercase and all the lowercase, and I've added a couple of other alternate forms. We'll talk about alternates in a later lesson. I'm going to open up these glyphs and take a look at how they fit in the bounding box. When I zoom in on this letter A, you can see that it's rather large. You'll recall that the side-bearing metrics are different for each glyph. However, the vertical metrics is consistent throughout the entire font, and this global information is maintained in the font information window. The font info window is the command center of the font, and it stores all the data that will be exported with the font file. You'll recall that you can access font info by clicking on this eye icon. You'll notice that right now this font is simply New Font. That's the default. I'm going to change it to Rob's Calligraph, and you'll notice that that name has changed up here. Also notice the default settings for the vertical metrics. Changing these parameters affects how all the glyphs fit in their respective cells. There are a number of tabs in the font info window. Right now, we're just focused on the font and masters tabs. I used the font tab to name the font. The masters tab is where I can change the parameters of the vertical metrics. By selecting a node on the top of this A, I can determine the cap height. I can now go into the font info window and change the cap height, and I'll give the A sender a little more height as well. Now you can see that the top of the A is sitting on the cap height, and I've got a little extra room for the A senders. But I'm not quite done. Now I need to take care of the D senders. In the preview window, I can double click on the Y and it will take me right to that glyph cell. Just as I did with the A sender, I can select the bottommost point of this Y and determine the descender value. Close the information window and you can see the descender is in its proper placement. As mentioned, these metrics parameters are global throughout the font, and you can see that when I select other characters. There's one other thing to mention about the vertical metrics. You can create what are called alignment zones. As lettering artists, we all know that rounded characters go beyond their guides. That's what the alignment zones are for. It's for the overshooting of these characters. Alignment zones appear as shaded areas in the vertical metrics. I can see that I forgot to take care of the X height, and I'll play with this to get the alignment zones in better position. Once again, I'll select this top node to get an accurate setting. 455 works perfectly. The O is still sitting a little bit low. I'll select all and position the O a little higher up. Now I think the overshoot just needs to be a little bit stronger, so I'll give it a 15. Notice that the overshoot on the baseline needs to be a negative 15. Let's go back to the main font window and take another look at the categories panel. When you click on the tab to the left, you'll see subcategories. The number to the right tells you how many glyphs you have in that subcategory. Those with gray boxes indicate how many glyphs you have and what glyphs you might be missing. You can also manage some of the foreign language characters that you may want to have in your font. You can see here that I have a long way to go to have a complete character set. At first glance, this may seem overwhelming. However, most of these glyphs contain diacritic characters, and those are easy to create. We'll talk about that at a later time. All of these categories are filters, allowing you to view specific glyphs in the font window. There is other information at the bottom of the panel, including the ability to color code cells. You can create custom filters by clicking on this pop-up icon. I'll create a custom filter by selecting the glyphs I'd like in the filter and then naming it. By now, you've probably figured out there's a lot to the Glyphs app, but hopefully You're learning a lot, and I plan to show much more in the next few lessons. For now, I just want to say thanks for joining. We'll see you again soon.